Hello, beautiful people, and welcome back to Parenthood. This podcast exists for one simple reason to make room for real parents and real stories. Stories that don't always fit into neat boxes. Stories that challenge what we think a family is supposed to look like. Stories that remind us that love, care, and responsibility can take many forms, and all of them are valid. Today's episode is especially meaningful. My guest today is Patruni Sastry, known to many as SasWhoMa, a drag artist, a performer, a trans non binary person, and most importantly for this conversation, a parent. Sas is the first openly trans non binary drag parent in India, raising a 3 year old child within an out mixed orientation marriage. And while their public work is bold and expressive, today's conversation is rooted in something quieter, but no less powerful: parenthood, family, and everyday care. This episode is not about labels or explanations. It's about living, about showing up, about raising a child in a world that doesn't always make space, but doing it anyway with intention and love. Sas, thank you for being here and for trusting parenthood with your story. Your big welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me, and it is really an honor to kind of connect with you. And I hope that I can, share some really wonderful anecdote in this conversation.
I am looking forward to it. To begin gently, if you had to describe yourself today, not in identities, not in public roles, but simply as a human being and a parent, what three words or phrases would you choose?
I think one is colorful. I see a colorful world across my surroundings, and I believe in joy of being a parent and being a person living, and also different because difference is something which gives a lot of perspective. So I think, yeah, those three are the words which I could
Lovely,
describe.
lovely. Before we talk about anything else, I'd love for you to introduce us to your family, your child, your partner, and the world you're raising your child in.
Yeah. So I identify as a bisexual, trans, non-binary person. So people who are new to these kind of words, I will quickly kind of explain to them. Bisexual means I'm attracted to all genders. Attraction level, irrespective, is something which is constant across the life. It's just that you might have one particular partner at this point in time, but still, how you see the world is something which is all dependent on attractions. And I also don't believe in the system of gender. So I see that gender is a playful thing for me to kind of explore. And I'm married to a cisgender woman, and I perform drag, and I have a 3 years old kid whose hobby is right now is to play and mess up with my wigs. So I can start from there. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. And let's go back to the beginning. How did the journey into parenthood begin for you? Was there a moment when it became real, when you realized, "Oh, I'm someone's parent now"?
Yeah, I think I wake up often in the past few days realizing the same that I'm a parent now. And, it also reminds me of the age of myself because I'm right now 33. Three is my lucky number and it's like tripling down. And my kid is also three. So it's like, it's a very interesting conjuncture in this particular, space at this point in time. I think to be very honest, I never wanted to kind of have things in planned. Like I still
Hmm.
remember after my marriage, once we were kind of 1 year across, what we realized is like we were having conversations, like I and my partner, what about children? How many do we want? Uh, how do we want to plan it? Do we want to plan it for the next after 2 years or after a certain years post marriage? And my partner is somebody who's been at the time of once we got married as well, they have been diagnosed with PCOD. And we were trying to kind of understand and like learn, be aware about it, aware about her body, aware about my body, etc. So and one thing which we realize is like few things are good if you don't plan, and that non-planning was a conscious choice of understanding that, okay, let's leave this particular part non-planned. There are two things in my life which I haven't planned. One was drag, and other one was my kid. So
Wow.
so, so we said, like, okay, let's not plan, let's see, let's see. I was already expecting that it will take a little bit of time since post marriage and all. Having said that, I was not so prepared that it would be so sudden and so abrupt. So we were going for an event, and then we are kind of coming back. It was raining the whole day in Hyderabad, and half of the Hyderabad was already submerged.
Hmm.
And that was the day when we kind of came fully drenched. So for the first time, I took my bike out, which I usually don't drive, with my partner, behind, and we were just trying to safeguard ourselves and reach home safely that particular evening. And then the next morning, my partner breaks this message that, I think I'm pregnant.
Wow.
So, and then we were like, okay, what shall we do now? So we kind of went ahead and we checked with, we got a confirmation from the doctor, and then we informed my parents about it as well. And they are like, okay, good. Now you need to now you not be a kid anymore in the house. So that's how it started, and then we planned for the next period of time, like 9 months. Out of that, first, like post 3 month, it was a little bit critical because of the PCOD, and because of the kind of pregnancy it was as well. So my partner was asked to kind of stay in the house, not move, and not kind of do any kind of a household work. So there was a little bit of distance between me and my partner, because she was staying with their parents, and I was sometimes performing in my own city, and sometimes kind of trying to fidget and visit quite often. And it was the same time where there was this film was also happening in transit. It's like everything kind of juggled up at the same time. But I don't know how did I navigate, but it was very easier for me to kind of think about it as of now. But that time it was very anxious situation. Having said that, the day was May 17th, which is also the International Day Against Homophobia, Transphobia. Um, so that was a day where my child came out, and I started. I was in the hospital, so I was very worried inside the hospital as well when they were going ahead and taking the treatment, and then I see my baby for the very first time, and they cry exactly like me. So I
Oh,
think, so I think that
how do you cry exactly like someone else?
I don't know. I think it's genes. But the cry, it's like a very, I would say, angry, violent cry. So that was something which is my genes. Like, I cry, or I show my anger and violence in my sorrowness. So I think that I think that's where it started. And then after the next, it's been 3 years. I don't even recognize how fast it kind of blew up. And I wish that the first 2 years were a little bit slower, compared to like so fast, because now I have to deal with a running a person in the house, trying to safeguard even more, and I should be myself on the wheels as well to save them. So I think yeah, that's how the situation is as of now. But I think it went off so early. And I think even when I hear a lot of parents, my parents, or elder parents, they say that the childhood is something which flews off and you don't even know, or you don't even recognize. So I didn't want to, I don't want to be in the space that I forget the childhood,
Yeah.
and I want to take and breathe this entire, the younger days of my kid, so that I can kind of remember and have some very good joyful moment in my life.
Yeah, yeah. And was there something that surprised you most about yourself when you became a parent?
Oh yeah, I think I was very worried that people kind of scared me, like because I was thinking about the independence, like as in when you are a far more independent when you are an individual, or when you are not having a dependency,
Yeah.
whereas financially, or I think socially as well. I think that was a myth which kind of bursted, because I think nothing has affected in any of those courses. I think it just expanded. things have expanded. It's horizon, but there's nothing changing. Or people say that you lose your individuality once you are a parent, and I
Hmm.
think it didn't work out for me or to my partner. Like we both are having our own individuality. Yeah, I think there is a little bit of more dependency on the partner. Having said that, I think she has a very wonderful courage, as well as she thinks a lot than me, and somewhere she brought her individuality back,
Hmm.
and that kind of helped me in like gluing ahead and trying to understand and support each other in that momentum. But I think um, that was something which was very surprising. I was like, how do we kind of not lose our individual self while being a parent? But what we realize is like it's always flowing parallelly, and it's not something which is affecting any of us. So I think that was a surprise element for me. And also, I was very scared to the thought of being a parent to start with, because I
Hmm.
still, I was bullied when I was in a college or a school. Because of my sexuality and my, how I present outside. And I was also in this space that because I'm a very public person, with my gender activism or with my drag in itself. And I'm also sure that this public access is something which will kind of grow, because the kind of work which I am in, or the kind of field which I am in, the entire idea is for me to be as visible as possible. And as and when the visibility or the circuit of visibility grows, um, there might be chances that my image or my personality might be used as a weapon against my kid. So that was the most bothering part when I kind of started, or when I thought about parenting, etc. So I had a friend of mine who is a single mother, queer single mother, and they have been raising two wonderful kids. So I just expressed this, and they are like, you don't have to worry about the future, because you would not only upbring your child, but you are also upbringing the society in one or the other way. So you are preparing grounds for both. And I think it's always, if you sow seed not only within your house but also on your backyard, it automatically grows. So you would automatically get a network of people who will support you, will ensure that you are in a safe space, etc. So I think that thought process have changed a lot when I see parenting as a space.
Beautiful. How beautiful. Are there parts of you yourself that have become softer or stronger or more grounded after becoming a parent?
Oh, that is a very good question. Grounded, I'm not sure. I became more volatile. Yeah, I think my drag became very grounded, if I could say, because now it's like a social responsibility of doing the accurate and appropriate thing.
Hmm.
And while that is one thought process, it also, like, I take a lot of joy from being a parent as well, because that joy is something which is reflecting in my art.
Hmm.
So hence it's really important that I'm aware about the few things which I was very kind of not very stringent before, like before I was getting married or before I was a kid. I know that kid have autonomy as well,
Hmm.
and they also have their own thought process. So I, as a parent, I never wanted to kind of put my brain into my kid's brain.
Hmm.
And it's not only my kid but any other kids or young adults, young teens, or younger people, which is a usual tendency of an artist or a teacher, that we impose our thoughts onto people. It's okay if you are giving it to an adult, because they would have a choice of taking it or not. But if it's something which is for a kid, or for younger audience, it's really important that we don't put our brain into their thought process. As an artist, I think I became more vigilant about it.
Hmm.
I became more aware that it is always important when you are performing, because I perform in public spaces,
Yeah.
unlike clubs or nightlife. That is sometimes I do that as well. But my major kind of work is something which is oriented to educate the overall society, and also use drag as a tool to kind of create empathy in the society. And while this is the core idea, um, I perform for all age groups.
Hmm.
And here there is a risk of how do I tell a story which doesn't make it seem like it's manipulating, or make it seem like only one directional, but give a thought
Mm.
process, give a critical viewpoint for younger people to kind of understand and reflect. So those responsibilities of an artist kind of changed since my kid has come. And also, I still remember that even for my kid, I don't impose my rule book of
Mm.
gender thing, or there has been this very often talk, and I often been asked this question of gender neutral parenting.
Mm.
I don't do that, because I feel that if I am putting that lens of gender neutrality to my kid at this early age, um, it might not be equipping them with the right kind of uh, uh, a path, because our systems or our society is not gender neutral.
Yeah.
It's still very gendered. So I couldn't just give them an idea that okay, everything in the world is gender neutral,
Yeah.
but to see it in that way and then eventually push them into a space which is the battlefield. So I didn't want to do that. So hence these are some of the cognitive thoughts which I kind of have when I'm performing, or when I'm bringing as a gendered person into my own nitty-gritty of the family. And what made me even I think grounded is like after being a parent, I started fighting more for queer rights, because I recall that unless and until I fight for my kid, it's not only me, but it's also for my family and kid which I need to fight for. And that is something which has changed a lot as well.
Yeah, yeah. I found this so beautiful when you said that, you don't impose your gender neutral parenting onto your kid. But that's such a profound realization, Sas. Like, how did you come about it? And it's so, I mean, either it comes in, like, in moments of flashes, but or it comes very gradually and over a period of time. How did
Mhm.
it come for you?
No, see, I'm having a lived reality, right? Like as a trans non-binary person, I'm navigating the society. So I know for a fact that I'm having the first-hand discrimination. I'm having the first-hand, trouble of seeing how things are gendered in its own nature. Like even in my workplace, or even in if I'm navigating a regular public space, things are gendered, and I think that is how the society is kind of functioning, and also will be functioning for the rest of a couple of years. So though gender neutral parenting became a buzzword within the parenting circuits when again I was trying to become a parent, and what I started seeing, like every school, like a play school, or a school is talking about gender neutrality, and then I was dropped into a workshop in my workspace where it was a parents workshop, and I have heard a lot of people kind of coming and talking about how one should raise a kid as gender neutral, so that they understand, they create empathy, etc. I do agree with all that. Having said that, it should not be oblivious, because there are some theories where it says that ensure the child is not using any words which are gendered,
Mm,
or ensure the child is not like um, making it very gender nullified in its in the
mm, mm,
society. And I think that is not practical, because
mm.
if I see gender nullified, if I am in my kid's position, I know the fact that if gender is nullified across the society, I would have not had that kind of a trouble navigating very simple spaces like hospital, or a washroom to kind of start with.
Yeah,
It's not the situation, so it's really important that I give all kind of information to my kid, and somewhere be a guiding space if they come back with a question.
yeah,
Having said that, it's not my job to self impose my thought, because my
right.
partner, so they call my partner is somebody, we had a discussion together, like my partner would see my child as whatever the biological sex they are born with.
Yeah,
I might not see that because I'm gender blind.
right.
But I would try to adjust and give the information that okay, there are two options. One, you see a gendered world, you interact with the gendered world. Other, you see a non-gendered world, you interact with. There are two options which you can kind of take it. So you're equipped with all the information. Now it's your choice. How do you want to kind of do it? And again, there would be an age appropriation for you to kind of pick up that chord. So I
Right.
think that's how I have been seeing it and kind of understanding it, and that's how I'm working with my kid as well. So my kid is having access to uh, kind of both the processes. Like, we don't say that, okay, girls can wear skirt, boys can wear this and that, all that kind of stuff we don't say. Having said that, they would understand, they will see the world.
Yeah.
My mom and dad never taught me genderlessness
Yeah.
since childhood. But then I became what I am. So I think I trust that process, and I think that is something which will eventually happen, and I don't have to pressure myself or my partner
Yeah.
or people around my kid to kind of start with in making it a very heavy process of parenting. I
Yeah.
think parenting should be fun. It should not be a burden on the parents to kind of start with.
Yeah, yeah. And in that regard, if you had to describe your parenting style, not in theory, but in practice, what would you call it?
I think to I don't know. I always feel that I'm a bad parent to start with. I think it's the same thought process for every parent.
Yeah.
They kind of go with the thought that they are a very bad parent to kind of start with. But I'm a learner in parenting. What I have learned from I never kind of go ahead with research, thinking, putting myself into a pressure, or to my partner, pressuring them, or to my kid. I don't want to pressure any of us. Like, it should be a no pressure space, even for the kid to kind of learn or figure out. I would ensure that there's an ample amount of space which is given to them, so that they can do all whatever they want to kind of do it. And what I also think is, like, I have been learning from some very wonderful parents across. Like, I know trans people raising their kids, like trans women who are having a biological kid, and they raising their kid, or chosen family which has been kind of bestowed on to me as a queer person. So how they kind of function. So those are all the learnings which I kind of have, which usually not many cis gender people or
Yeah.
cisgender couples would access. So I think in that way I'm very much kind of being blessed to have two different thought processes of parenting, and that makes me aware about how what are the problem in systematic parenting which my mom and dad are or that generation is from, and then what are the problematic instances from the Gen Zs and the millennials parenting.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh, and so that helps me in a balanced approach of, okay, using my brain to see, okay, is this helping my kid or myself? If it's helping, I
Mhm.
will do it. If it's not helping my kid or myself or my partner, I don't want to kind of do it. So I think I take it in that way. I'm a very picky, choosy person in these two school of thoughts.
Lovely, lovely. And you spoke about, having access to queer community, having access to trans community and, other non-mainstream community. But we live in a country where many such families don't see themselves reflected in mainstream narratives.
Mhm.
What does in that context, what does visibility mean to you? Not as a performer, but also as a parent.
Yeah, I think it's really important because what we need to understand is, as and when we are all growing as a society, um, there are high chances of people, especially kids, coming from a queer family or kids being queer.
Yeah.
Both of them are in instances. So it's really important that we acknowledge that there are different kind of family structures, different kind of systems which we all kind of live in, and try to accommodate all of them as well in one or the other way. So I think even today, what we usually think, if it's a parent, it should be a cisgender man and cisgender woman. Having said that, I know a lot of people who are trans, trans woman and trans man having a kid. We have people who are, again, same sex couple having kids as well, single parents, so these are all the different kinds of parenting which we are kind of living with. And as to ensure that the kids are safe, or
Yeah.
the systems are safe, we
Yeah.
need to acknowledge from where they're kind of coming from, and that's the basic humanity which we kind of expect from the society as well.
Yeah.
So it's really important that we see different kinds of narratives of parenthood, and we visualize the parents and how their family structures are. So in order to do that, we need representation.
Yeah.
So if we don't have a representation, we would always think that, we would always assume a certain
Yeah.
kind of a family which a person is coming from, which
Yeah.
is not helping the kid, nor the parent, nor the society. So I think it's really important we kind of are aware and empathetic towards each other, and that would only happen when you see a right kind of a representation across,
Mm.
authentic representation to kind of start with, which would help in creating more connections and understanding, and moving as neighborhoods in our society. So I think that is something which is really important. Now coming back to the idea of representations or visibility, I think as of now the queer visibility is uh, very one note, if I could say it,
Yeah.
in our space, because you'd hardly see queer parents kind of coming and given the space, or especially even if it's queer parents, we always assume that it's queer parents who are again in the West, not in India.
Mm.
And I have seen when I was basically when my partner was conceiving, and I was trying to look out for stories and narratives from parents because I was reading a lot.
Mm.
uh, I wanted to understand how a person who's a trans woman raising their kid, or how what are the challenges which a queer parent would have, and one of them is a queer, not both of them are queer. So
Yeah.
these are all the combinations which I was trying to look into, and I could only see that there are articles on the webs on the internet which is talking about same-sex couple, again not from India, from some other country, or somebody who's who's a immigrant to a different country raising a kid. Now my battleground is very different. I'm right now in this particular country, and my surroundings are very different, and those information will not help me in any way. So I think this is the real problem, when there is no right, or right amount of visibility in our society. But I was saved because I had more narrative conversations. I know more people in real time connections,
Yeah.
where I could kind of go ahead and ask a certain doubt or a question. So I think that was a kind of a privilege which I had with my access, or with my city which I'm living in. And that might not be the case for all of us as well. Like, there might be times where people kind of detransition as a trans person to kind of conceive a kid,
Yeah.
or sometimes also have to kind of go through a lot of other issues, especially within the families as well,
Yeah.
when a kid is kind of born. So those are all the kind of situations which are on reality. But I'm safeguarded because I know people
Mm.
in person who had helped me in that, and this is why we need visibility, because we ensure that we are providing access to people who want to kind of know about how do they implement, how do they see their life with being a parent.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And you talked about visibility in the society, but how do you think about visibility in front of your child as well? What do
Hmm,
you want them to grow up seeing as normal?
hmm. I think for me, I since I think my kid was 1 year of age, my kid, both my partner as well. When we got married, my partner used to travel with me to my drag shows, and yeah, again, there are different kinds of drag shows and different spaces which drag shows happen. So I need to be very cognizant about the fact that that is a safe space, age
Yeah,
appropriate space, etc. So
yeah,
my partner used to come for all the community events which were happening in Hyderabad. So if it's a community gathering, if it's some pride walk which is happening, or a book reading session, or a drag show which is a family friendly drag show. So my partner used to come with me across, and my kid is also someone who started accompanying, because I think when I go to drag event, my partner and my kid are the only one who's staying in the house, and
mm,
which is not something which they like a lot. So what they do is they accompany me, so they come with me to event which is happening, and so my kid is already exposed to all these Did you lose me?
yes, lost you, but now you're back.
Okay, it says my internet is unstable. Is it better now?
It's better. You
Okay, so I'll
said,
just
yeah, you were saying that your kid is now exposed to.
drag. So my kid is now aware about me doing drag. They play around. They see me in makeup. So they call me with my drag name, which is a very interesting thing. They call me SasWhoMa when I'm in drag,
Hmm.
in a very funny way. And then they kind of accompany. They also barge into my stage when I'm performing. So,
Oh.
uh, so when I kind of try to be the center of attraction, they kind of compete with me to get the center of attraction. So these are the things which are happening. So I want to ensure that I don't have a dual life in front of my kid, and
Yeah.
I want to ensure that they know in and out about how I present in the society, and it should not be a shocker for them to see or visualize me once they are you know being aware about the situation. So I think that was my constant choice. So hence, from day one, I didn't want to hide my personality out from my kid. My kid is aware; they are seeing it, they understand. They're as and when they kind of come back with questions, I'm equipped to kind of answer them. I'm
Mm.
aware about how to answer, how to inform my kid about my drag or my sexuality or my gender on a time when they kind of come back. So I'm just waiting for that part. And so I think that is how I see it's really important for my kid to be kind of aware, be aware about, be resourceful in their own way. And as and when this is also happening, I'm also educating myself on things like how do I prepare the ground if my kid is kind of coming and asking about sexuality or gender, or if there are situations where they want to kind of explain to somebody else,
Yeah.
or some other parent or some friend who is basically trying to come out to my kid. How do we kind of say, how do we talk about consent? So those are all the concepts which I'm preparing myself as a person, so that I can equip them, I can kind of inform them at the right time, at the right age, so that once they grow up, they are aware that they have all the resources, they have everything, they have their own library of information through which they can browse and get into the reality. So I think
Yeah.
that is something which is my plan of action. And I never wanted to kind of have this duality. I don't want to hide myself out from
Yeah.
my kid, my reality of it. So I ensure that I'm also not hiding, but being exactly visible, so that my kid doesn't see it as something which is inappropriate.
Yeah, yeah. From outside, this act itself of not hiding your dual identity from your kid and, for presenting yourself as you are to the world as well as to your child seems radical enough.
Hmm, hmm.
For you, are there everyday moments, small, ordinary ones, that feel radical to you because you are the parent in them?
No, yeah, I think I would say that I haven't seen it with the idea of if it's radical or not, but there are some
Mm,
moments which is very special only to my family, or
mm,
only to me and my kid, if I could say it in that way. And I think every family is different. Like, when a kid is kind of born in a family, whatever the thought or politics of the family is something which kind of shapes the kid, or the culture, or the aspect of it is something which shapes the kid. So here also it's the same situation. Having said that, here what I try to do is I don't want to be the very opposite of how heterosexual
mm,
upbringing
mm,
which we see in our society.
mm.
So see, I think because I was raised in a very heterosexual manner. Having said that, I was also having the flexibility of learning,
Yeah.
understanding and questioning. So that was something which was already kind of given to me because of my parents. So I don't want to kind of create a different pedagogy of parenting which is against the idea of heteronormity.
Yeah.
So I don't want to kind of say that that is wrong, only this is right.
Mm,
So
mm,
because if that is the situation, if I say that okay, being being raised as a feminist, being raised as a genderly aware kid, or being raised as a I would say being raised as a liberal person, because I'm a liberal
yeah.
person. I think expecting that my child would also be liberal or a feminist. Um, that is a too fast stretch expectation for me. I would kind of be very honest over there, and I don't want to parent my kid to be raised as one.
Hmm.
Because if I'm doing the same thing, I'm basically doing an opposite of what a heterosexual parenting or the stringent parenting in our society, the patriarchal parenting is doing as well. So what they are doing is they're just saying that this is stringently, this is how it is. And if I'm doing the opposite of that, it's also problematic. Like, anything which is stringent in its own nature is problematic in our society. So I want to be flexible as much as I can, just like my gender. So I want to ensure that
I like that.
yeah, I want to ensure that let them kind of learn multiple theories, let them kind of have multiple friendships, multiple relationships in their own life, connect with multiple diverse people, and let them form their own perspective. uh,
Hmm.
what I could do is I could just have like a CCTV camera, have a look at okay what they are doing, and if I feel that okay there's something wrong, I can have a conversation, say that okay, this is in my perspective, this is wrong. You
Hmm.
take your own decision. So, which was something which my parents did. So I
Hmm.
think I want to follow that pattern. So here again, even if I, as a person, are very political, radical in its own nature, I generally don't want that to be kind of implemented in my parenting. And
Hmm.
I have a checker in my house, which is my other, which is my partner. So even if I put my thoughts or my radicality into my kid or my marriage, I know for a fact that I would be kind of stopped immediately, and I would be getting a self check before
Yeah.
I do anything. So I think unless and until that checker is there, I'm fine with my kid is safe. I am safe. My wife is safe. But once the checker is out, or once there is no checkpoint which is happening, I think that is a concerning situation. But I'm fortunate enough that I have someone who always questions, like even I am a person who question every damn thing. My
Yeah.
partner is someone who questions my thought processes as well. If I
Yeah.
say that okay, this is something, I can give you a very kind of
Yeah.
example. So I have a niece who's of also the same age
Hmm.
and of my kid, and so basically one of the time there was some kitchen set which we found out it's a very unique kitchen set which is made up of steel and all, at Mysore. We went to Mysore, and they were displaying this, and basically my partner wanted to buy that to my niece,
Hmm.
because she played when she was a kid with that, and and she wanted to do the same thing for my niece as well. And I said I was really interested in that because I played when I was a kid as well, so I
Yeah.
want that to my kid.
Yeah.
So I said, yeah, you take it, and there's one piece which you have taken, and I was thinking it's for my kid, and she was thinking it's for the niece. And I
Yeah.
said, like, why do you want to give this set to a girl child? Because you are putting an expectation that, the girl child should cook.
Yeah.
And my partner is like, but you were the one who were also thinking that this should be given to the your kid.
Yeah.
So you are trying to implement your thought process that men can cook.
Yeah.
So that was an argument which we had. At last, what she kind of concluded is like, let's do one thing. Let's take two of them, one for the kid and one for the niece, so that we don't have to fight with each other. So these are the kind of checkers which I kind of get. Like at any point in time, I think I put my gendered lens, or like
Yeah.
less lens, and say that okay, this is not correct, this is patriarchy in its own nature, and she'll kind of question back, or she'll kind of give me a reason which is very logical in its own nature.
Hmm.
So I think that checker is really important, so
Yeah.
that we ensure I gave a very neutral thoughts to my kids.
Yeah, yeah. And I love how you speak about your partner and you are parenting within a marriage that doesn't fit society's default expectations. So in that, what does partnership look like for you as parents?
Um, yeah, I think it's really important that there are roles which are assigned need to be shifted on time. Like a
Hmm.
mother's role. Okay, I do understand there's a biological need for a mother, especially after conceiving for at least 2 to 3 months, etc. For the first 2 to 3 months, but then slowly and steadily there need to be a defined role so that there's a space which is left for each individual as well.
Yeah.
Parenting is a very huge task to kind of do, and I think somewhere I kind of missed that part when my partner was pregnant. Like I was not able to kind of understand that she's also going to the post um, depression, which usually kind of happens, and slowly and steadily, it's only after consciously kind of conversing and understanding, I realized that okay, this is something which is a part of my family, and I need to kind of take some kind of a step. So I started working more work from homes, and then trying to see how I could kind of uh, um, take some responsibilities, like at least uh, going ahead and ensuring that she's invested in her art. So she started working on her art, and somewhere I was trying to work on my art, so that engaging each other, and then somewhere engaging the kid, that became a flawless space. Like I sometimes I still remember once a kid is born, we our expectation from the mother is that they should be always around the kid.
Mm.
And though my partner has made the choice that she wants to be around the kid, but then there were points like she was aspiring for doing something as well.
Mm.
And then it should not be a conflict that okay, she's aspiring, I'm aspiring, who's taking care of the kid. But it should be like okay, today I'm doing this, I want to pursue this, tomorrow you want to pursue this, I'll be there. So
Mm.
this constant I would say it's a fight in itself, but those fights are really important because that gives you more space to kind of more responsibility for you to kind of contribute to parenting. And I
Right.
think I love that fact. I love that fact that my partner is thinking in a way that they wanted to kind of outstep, not only think very strategically or very very what could be the better way, traditionally, that only mothers should support,
Mm.
and they kind of having their own pursuing their own passions,
Mm.
and making the choice to pursue their own passion. I think
Right.
that gives me a lot of euphoria, that gives me a lot of joy,
Yeah.
as a person who is partnered with her partner. So I think that is how I try to kind of balance and talk out things, and still it's very surprising for my immediate parents or to my in-laws when there are some things which I do, because I present myself as a mask person when I'm not dragging. And there are few things which I kind of, when somebody asks me to feed my kid, and I'm expert in doing that. Or if I'm doing it in a very regular casual manner, it shocks them. I was like, okay, let you shock, but this is something which I want to contribute. So I think that is how we are trying to navigate. And I'm still learning. I'm still one of the shocking thing, when again I'm trying to reflect when we are
Yeah.
having this conversation, is like you know both of us are of the same age, like my partner and me, and there is a default expectation that mothers should know everything,
Yeah.
but there is no default expectation that the father should know everything as well. So
Yeah.
there is very easily I can say that, oh, I don't know this.
Mm.
But it's also important that the same conversation can be applied to the mother as well. So
Right.
that breaking of that ice was something which was very important for me, and I'm still trying to do that when I'm interacting or trying to be with my partner.
Yeah.
It's sometimes I do feel that I'm not doing enough, which is again my perspective, because sometimes I have to go to work, they both are in the house, things like that. Or if I'm performing somewhere, they both are left in the house, and we just live three people together in our own house. We don't have our parents kind of coming more often, so hence those are some spaces where I feel that okay, I'm not contributing enough, or I'm leaving the house without providing right kind of resources. But I think eventually what I kind of realize is like, even those spaces would help. Those guilt feelings are also really important, because you overdo it and then you are satisfied.
Yeah.
So I think yeah, that somehow is helping.
Yeah, yeah. And are there ways in which parenting has strengthened your relationship or forced new kinds of conversations?
Yeah, I think the new kind of conversation is like, uh, It's definitely strengthened the relationship for sure, but the kind of conversations are very kind of weird at times. We fight for we go to a toy shop, we want to buy a toy for the kid, we fight for what toy we want as a parent, and we make a mind, and then the kid wants a different one, so we have to let go of our selfishness and then, you know, give what the kid wants. And
Yeah.
what we realize is like half of the toys which we kind of buy for our kids, for my kid, is not my kid's choice. It's like
Hmm.
something which we wanted to play.
Hmm.
So I have like 16 kitchen sets, like, 16. One is in wood, one is in steel, one is in glass. The glass one was recently bought by my partner when we went to a trip, and I was like, I thought it's for my niece again. So it's like, shall I bring it? Like, no, that is for me. Keep it in the house. And how I use my kids' toys as my props. So I think there's a clear cut policy which my partner has put, like, you should not use any of my kids' stuff in your drag or in your props. But still, I sneak peek and use a couple of them. So I think those are some moments which I have as a parent. It definitely strengthened. It's definitely a kind of um, made a very clear cut bond strong, if I could say it in
Hmm.
that way. But
Hmm.
then it's also like there's a constant questioning, constant juggling of things, constant adjustments which we need to make as a parent as well. And I think that is a reality which is slowly kicking in. It's just 3 years, so I think it will kick even more. And I'm just preparing. I'm putting this thought out to you while I'm also convincing myself that this is there would be more. There might be chances like you might need to compromise at some point in time, and I think compromise again for the child's future or for yourself. So those are some things which is a consciousness which is kind of talking as and when I kind of reflect.
Yeah. And when things get hard, what helps you come back to each other?
I think when things get hard, she goes back to her art. I go back to my art.
Hmm.
So and once we are exhausted with our art, so I think we both are in a dual relationships. Look, I
Hmm.
am in a relationship with my drag, and she's in relationship with her, you know, um, with her art. She's somebody who's working on, like, creating art pieces inside the house, or creating murals, etc. So that is something which is her drawing point. So and she works with a lot of women-led organizations
Hmm.
to kind of upskill herself. She has taken so many courses. She knows how to kind of do canvas painting, and then she's doing sculpting, etc. So she's constantly investing on her work,
Yeah.
and I'm constantly investing. So if we are fighting with each other, we go back to our art, and then we kind of get some kind of sense of egalitarianism, and then we kind of come back like, okay, you are fine with yourself, I'm fine with myself. So I
Yeah.
think that is something which helps. So art is something which is the strongest connect. And we know that we never, both like my partner and me, we never step into a space where I ask her to kind of stop what she's doing and she asks me to kind of stop what I'm doing. So that
Yeah.
is the clear cut, I think, boundaries which we have been known to kind of set up, because both of us realize that this is our lifeline. Like, our
Yeah.
art is our lifeline, and if you ask them to kind of curtail or stop at any point in time, it just reflects back. It will kind of trigger a lot of emotions inside the human being, and also it will not let you breathe as a person. So I think it's really important that the weight of art is something which we both carry, our our understanding, and going with it. And even if there are times where there are some relatives in the house, and my partner had some class which she's taking for art, and I have to take care of the kid is crying because they want their mother. And there are times where people would say, like, oh, why is she taking a class, the kid is very important. And then I have to kind of fight those spaces. I have to kind of say that, okay, you are seeing a gender over here. It's just like she's a mother, you're kind of coming and saying this, I am equally valid, I need to fight for myself. So I think those are some things which I see a part of it, so I kind of navigate with that pieces as well.
Yeah, 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 well, yeah, lovely. And let's talk about joy. I love what you said about joy. And, are there small moments, habits, rituals that fill you with joy in your day-to-day life?
Yeah, I think so. One of the thing is I do drag. My kid is very well aware about it. So whenever when I'm doing drag and my kid is watching it, they'll have this kind of nod. This is something which is happening for day one. When they see me drag, and they'll have this nod. I would also have this nod, and we'll have this nod, and we'll that continuous language of us to kind of start with, and then um, me being visible with my partner and my kid in public space, and
Mm,
especially in queer communities, brings a different kind of joy, because queer community is not having, there are a lot of people within the queer community who wants to be parents,
right.
or at least they want to have partner, to kind of start with a small bucket of it. And when they don't have the access and they see people like me who are kind of doing what we want to kind of do, like living our own reality, the kind of euphoria which my community gets is very different, and they always often kind of come and express.
Mm,
So I still remember when I took my kid to a event for the very first time. There are a lot of people who wants to kind of, take the kid, and try to interact with the kid. There are a lot of people who are kind of feeling that it's their own kid.
mm,
It's a kid who is getting a lot of love from across the community. So I think that is the beauty of the joy which I feel, like somewhere or the other way, what I can do is, if I want to be authentically visible, so that anyone who has a dream of being a parent, in at any instance of life, should be able to do it. So I should at least give them that kind of a hope, is what I feel like. And I was also given the similar kind of a hope. I saw someone being a parent leading it, which makes me hopeful as well. So I want to be that part. So hence it's really important for me to constantly bring my parenthood, like I'm a dad, I'm a parent, into my queer spaces, into my drag, etc., because it's really important for me to say that, okay, this is something which is which is important. Other joy is like, I my life itself is something which I try to message it up in my performances. So
mm.
when my partner was pregnant, I was doing this piece called a Swikar, which is also, Swikar is again a group of group of parents. It's a NGO, which is a collective of all the queer parents in India, and they have been doing some amazing job in counseling parents whose kids were coming out, or counseling kids who want to come out to their parents, etc. So I had an interaction with Speaker for a long time, the founding members, etc. And their work is something which is humongous. It has created a lot of impact across the queer communities in India. So when my partner was pregnant, I want to do something, some kind of a performance which was giving me an aspect of this entire 9 months of parenthood. So I
Mm.
did a performance called a Sweekar, where the idea is like, there's a there's a mother who is basically kind of passing through the 9 months and then giving birth. And once the birth of the child is happening, they realize that that's an intersex child,
Oh,
and whether they would be accepting, whether they would be fighting from the society to safeguard the child, or whether they would give it out and throw it in the dustbin. So that was the entire thought which this performance carried. And also, at that time, there were a lot of intersex children. Even today, there are like 90% of intersex children are either being discarded, or given to the orphanage, or kind of forcefully gender corrected. So these are all the situations which kind of happen. And I thought, like, it's really important for me as an artist to reflect it in my art. So a self experience which I could put it across in my art and present it and make that accepted within the society. I think that is the other kind of creative joy which I enjoy.
lovely, lovely. And as you look ahead, what do you hope your child carries with them from growing up in your home?
I think empathy is one thing. One trait which I really want my child to have is question everything. Like
Mm,
questioning is it should be the fundamental aspect of a person's life, so that unless and until they question, they will not know the knowledge, or they
mm,
will not know the instances of it. So questioning is really important. Healthy questioning, corrective questioning, and then empathy. Empathy is the ground root level, because once a person is empathetic, I think the society is half built. So I think I want that empathy to kind of be instilled in my kid as well.
beautiful. And what kind of world do you hope they help build simply by being themselves?
I think more empathetic, more world which is aware of diversity, and more world a world which is also doesn't carry identities as a stringent part, but doesn't have boundaries to be set.
Mm,
We don't box things into black or white,
mm,
but let's leave some gray areas as well, which people can exist, because there are multiple colors in our society, and I think there need to be enough light for each color to reflect. So I
mm.
think that is something. The society which I kind of aspire to look forward, in a very euphoric way. I think it will happen as well, but it is a constant changing process.
Yeah.
I think my great grandfather would have also imagined the similar kind of a world when he was alive, and we are not living in that world.
Yeah.
So, but there are chances. There's always a hope.
Yeah. Yeah. And tell me, what's one thing about parenting that you wish more people understood beyond assumptions or appearances?
I think parenting is more like you know. It's not a rule book. It's not
Mm,
something which can be as I said, it can't be black and white. And i- people seem that parenting can be easily done because we are a overly populated country in an overly populated world. But then it's really important that parenting is not seen should not be seen just as a responsibility, but more like a process of self learning. uh,
mm,
and the self learning, you are again, you are learning with your child, and you are learning for your child. So I think this learning part is something which is very constant. So it can't be unilaterally, okay, I am already aware, I have seen 30 years of my life, so this is my ultimate knowledge which I want to pass down. It's never, you can't always pass down, you need to kind of carry it and take it up.
yeah.
So it's like a dual game. It's like not a single person passing information. So I think that attitude need to kind of change.
Mm,
And parenting is also a little bit overrated,
mm,
because once we say that we are a parent, the only thing which we are superior to the child is our age.
mm.
Or we haven't gained our wisdom. Like I haven't gained my wisdom in 33, to be honest. So there are a lot of other things which I need to see and explore as well, and my kid is just around 30 years behind me.
Hmm.
But as in when I grow, they would also catch up whatever the information which I got, or more than me, if I could say. So it's really important that I don't see it as me being superior to my kid, but I need to kind of see that I am as equivalent, as naive as my kid as well, so that I can feel the joy of being a parent.
Yeah.
But if I see that I'm superior, or I know everything, and I know how to train my kid, that becomes just like how politicians are treating us at this point in time. So
Yeah.
I think that
Wow.
should not happen.
Yeah, yeah. And tell me, we are coming to an end of this conversation. I have my last question for you. If you could leave one message for parents who often feel unseen, misunderstood, or they're parenting outside the norm, what would you tell them?
I think do what you do. Like I think you do you, and if you think it's really if you are getting the right kind of response, if you're doing something for the safety of the kid and the kid is safe,
Yeah.
I think your purpose is done. But at any point in time, if you're getting visual or verbal ideas of the kid is not safe, I think then you need to consider. I think parenting is again very personal in its own nature, and there might be a lot of people who have written books about parenting, saying that this is the right kind of a way to do it. But then we also know for reality that majority of these books who are written are not by parents of a certain certain demographies, certain language, certain caste, certain class, or certain gendered spectrum. So they are all they can never match what our lived experiences are as a person. So it's really important that we kind of figure out our own ways of understanding and creating a safe space for our kid and for ourselves. We can't only create safe space for the kid and leave ourselves outside, because
Yeah.
it's all dependent. If you are a good parent, you will think about yourself first, than the kid, because if you are safe, if you are in a position at the right time at the right age to give them guidance, I think that's what the kid would also kind of thrive and understand. So one has to put oneself first in that manner, selflessly, and sorry, selfishly, not
Yeah.
selflessly. Selfishly, you need to put yourself first, so that then you would understand the warmth of being a parent, or then you would do the right thing for your kid.
Yeah.
So I believe in that part very more. Like, if you don't love yourself, nobody will love you, or if you don't love yourself, how the hell somebody will love you? So I think this is the quote from RuPaul, which is who's the epitome of drag. So I think I follow that as well. I think if you are a parent who are feeling unconventional, and if you have a gut feeling that you are doing right, just stick on to that. May the world be turned around, but if you are sitting on your gut and saying that this is something which I'm doing for benefit of my kid, and for yourself, I think nobody can change the love which you kind of would be reflecting back from your kid as well. So I think that is really important.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you, Sasu Ma, for your honesty, your generosity, and for
Thank you.
reminding us that parenting is not about fitting into a mold, but about showing up with care and intention. And thank you for expanding your family, because it's an example of what actually families can look like.
Yeah.
Simply, you're exemplifying it simply by living your life, and
Mhm.
thank you for that.
Thank you. Thank you so much for again having me. It was such a lovely conversation, and it also, I'm also leaving with a lot of reflections, if I could say it in that way.
Thank you. Thank you. And to everyone listening, if this conversation made you pause, reflect, or feel a little less alone, I hope you'll share it with someone who needs it. Follow Parenthood, leave us a review if you can, and keep these conversations alive in your homes, in your friendships, and within yourselves. Until next time, this is Neha Garg signing off. Bye bye.